All right, well, it's been a couple days. For me, it's been a day since I posted the first video on the CampSnap Pro, but for you guys, it's been a couple of days since I posted my first video on the CampSnap Pro, and I do want to clarify a few things about this camera that I've had questions in the comments, and some stuff that I've just kind of wanted to test on my own and see if I can't make better. In this video, we're going to cover things like the flash and how I maybe am not the best at flash photography, and my initial assessment may have been off. I do believe some of the stuff I said was correct, but also that there is a time and place for this flash. So I will get into that. I also want to show the looks and how you can customize them. I did get information on how to customize them, and I have perfected one to where I really like it. And I do believe they're going to make this system that I'm going to show you even better over time, because it is more advanced with the like CampSnap 8, the CS8, which I have right here. And I'm gonna shoot a little bit of this with this so you guys can see what it looks like. Let's get off of this real quick though, but I will film a little bit of some B-roll of this camera and stuff like that and pop it up throughout. Back into this. So I'm gonna show you how to make those looks and add them to your camera. And then I want to address a couple other questions that were in my comments. So I did have a question about autofocus. So we'll start there. Autofocus is not existent. It's not an autofocus camera. It is a infinity focus. So it's like after a couple feet, 2 to 3 feet-ish, it is pretty much in focus from then out. And then obviously the farther away, the less detail you get and stuff like that. But in general, it's an infinity focus camera, similar to like a GoPro or an action camera, or even like an old point and shoot camera. I had another question, and that was, is the lens glass? The lens is glass, but it's not a lens per se that you're seeing that's glass. So the lens design is similar to the other lens on the original CampSnap. If you look past this glass, it sinks in like the other one, but they did put this like piece of glass on it, as well as, like I said in the last video, there's threading, so you could put your own UV filter or variable ND if you really wanted to, or mist filter, or whatever filter you wanted to, you could thread it on. Also, you can add a inexpensive lens cap. Now, the downfall to a lens cap is you'll forget it, and when you look through your eyepiece, it doesn't show you what's through here because it's just a viewfinder eyepiece. So you're only seeing here, and you're gonna miss that you forgot to take your lens cap off. I took like 10 pictures the other day that I thought were turning out really good, and I had forgotten to take my lens cap off. So that's your downside if you do put a lens cap on, and my only reason for it is that I did not want to scratch up this piece of glass that is covering our lens and then wind up having like a permanent scratch on my lens that I have to deal with. So I do think the lens cap's a good idea, but also you have to remember it if you're gonna be walking around with it on it. So I say use it for when you're going to throw it in a bag, but while it's hanging on your neck, maybe don't worry about the lens cap and keep it off so you don't accidentally take a bunch of pictures and not know it's there. Let's go ahead and get into the flash. Now, I've taken a couple pictures last night that I was like, I want to test this out and see where this flash is going to shine. And I got positive and negative results from it. Now, a lot of these pictures I'm going to show you here, I think turned out pretty good for a flash photo. Not too many of them were blown out. And the difference between these and the ones I showed you in the last video, which I'll pop those up, is that these new ones are at a pretty decent distance. So like beyond like 6-7 feet from the person I'm trying to take a flash photography of, which I think is smart. You get too close to them and it's going to try to change the settings on the camera internally to be as dark as that person is before the flash. And so the majority of your frame that's taken up is probably how the camera's deciding what it's going to do with the internals of what shutter speed and what ISO it's going to give you for the shot. So getting farther away from them so it can capture more of the light in your area is key. That being said, it needs to be not a fully dark room, or you're going to have the same results I had, regardless of how far you are from it. If it's a fully dark room, it has to stop down that shutter speed and crank up the ISO no matter what for the camera to think that it's going to get anything. I do think that there is a place where you could have a flash that is coordinating with the camera to say, guess what, camera, the flash is on, put everything back to kind of like a setting where it would make sense for this flash to be on. All right, I got a quick update. I just needed to interject, and I'm gonna go back to what I previously filmed. But while I was editing this, I noticed in my previous video that Brian from CampSnap did comment and told me there's a newer update that the new cameras are gonna be coming out with and being shipped with. And he sent me that in an email, so I loaded it on the camera and I took some sample photos, so I'm going to pop those up here, and then we'll get right back into where I left off from my previous recording, because I don't want to throw this too far off, but there is some significant difference in the flash after this update, so check them out. This camera is under $100. So they launched it at under $100. You can't expect it to be a pro photography camera. I said this in a comment on the other one. You couldn't go and buy a point and shoot camera and then develop a single roll of film for under $100. So you couldn't go to your local camera store, and I'll pop a couple of them up here. You couldn't buy that, then buy a roll of film, and then produce that roll of film, and it costs less than $100. On this, you buy it and you can take thousands of pictures, and you paid $100 for it, less than $100 for it, a little less. And you take thousands of pictures. 500 on a charge is what they're listed at, and I think it's close to that. Like, you could definitely take 500 pictures on a charge. Comparing those, it's like a little bit arbitrary. Like, what do you want to have fun with for $100? Do you want to have fun with a point and shoot camera that's film that you get to develop one roll of film, or do you want to have fun with this where you just keep having fun with it and fun with it? That's kind of like your choice. But for me, I'm like this every day. Film's fun and all, but like it's a lot of extra. And film is a blast to shoot with. Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of excitement to it. And I think this brings some of that nostalgia and excitement without all of the cost that comes with shooting with film. And all the make sure your film doesn't get hot and make sure it doesn't expire and all, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot with film if you shot with film. That being said, these flash photography shots that I took of my daughter playing the drums last night and my dogs, I think turned out pretty good. I think some of them looked a little blown out, like here and there, but some of them looked great and looked how you expect a flash photography to fill out. So what I did was I stepped back and I made sure the room was lit decently, but still a low lit room. So that made all the difference in the world, I think. A low lit room's great, a dark room, no. It's not great with any camera and any flash. So I was a little harsh with my flash comments on the last one. And I think a lot of people maybe clinged onto that and was like, yeah, this flash sucks. Also, I'm a novice in flash photography, so I'm playing with it and like trying to figure out what makes sense for flash, as well as anyone should. But the brilliance about this is you don't waste pictures because you are learning flash photography. You just learn and you keep taking pictures, and you're not paying more to keep taking pictures like you would with a film camera where you waste a bunch of pictures because your flash was all blown out. You get what I'm saying? I hope you do. The flash is great if you use it right. Let's move on and let's look at these looks, and I'll show you some of the shots that I got with my favorite one that I created, and then I kind of created a more flat one that has some higher like teal blues in it, and then more punchy one that's kind of heavier in contrast and a little bit higher in saturation. So I have two looks on my camera that I think I like rocking, but let's get into the computer and I'll show you how you go ahead and do it and put it in your camera. We are in the website now that you make your filters with, and it is filters.campsnapphoto.com. I will link it down in the description of this video for you guys to use, but up here you pick which camera you're going to be using it with. We're going with CS Pro, which actually has the least options right now, but I was told it is in beta, which means they probably will be adding some of the more advanced features you get in some of the V105 and what have you. So we will go ahead and just kind of mess with it here. So you can change your brightness, your contrast, saturation, hue, stuff like that. Everything down to these red balances and stuff like that. You can't add a vignette in there at this point or anything like that. Maybe they'll make him more advanced in the future, which is definitely something that if we give them feedback, they might decide to do. Another thing you can do is load the previous filter you did, so then you can just work off of it. And to do that, you'll click it and it will just open up your files, then you load your filter in. I can show you what one of mine looked like. So we got this guy here. So this is one of the ones I chose to make for mine. So that's kind of what it looks like on one of my photos that I've previously taken in the standard mode. Once you save them, you save it. It already has it as FLT file. So you just type either VTG1, VTG2, or STD to replace standard, the Vintage 1 or the Vintage 2 with that replacement. And once it's in there, you will copy and add it to the source file on your camera. So I hope that clarified a lot of the stuff with the CampSnap Pro. I think this camera is a killer value and lots of fun. If you like the original, you will no doubt love this one. If you didn't like the original, you might love this one over that one. So it's kind of personal choice. I hope the more videos that come out on this, the more questions you guys have, I'll try to do follow-up posts, but I do want to get into my video on the CS8, and I just wanted to clarify stuff on this before going and shooting with the CS8. So if you follow along, I will have one on this soon, and I have a lot to cover on this guy because it is a blast. So please do subscribe, hit the bell notification to see more of my follow-up stuff on this, and any questions you guys have, hopefully I'll answer them in the comments or make follow-up videos that can definitely clarify those questions. I hope this did everything for you. If it did, please hit that like button. And if you're one of those that think you might like this, do use my affiliate links down below because it helps me out, keep making videos on this. It helps me get more products to be able to shoot and show you guys. And it doesn't cost you any extra and gives you a bit of a discount on certain things on their site. So I also have a recommendation for Rakuten down there, so check out that description. But I'll see you guys next time. Go shoot something awesome no matter what camera you use. Peace out. Later.